the chance to experience new cultures, meet fascinating people, and witness breathtaking sights. But occasionally, a traveler might feel like they've crossed into a world where politeness doesn't quite match up to what they're used to. While every country has its own customs, some have earned a reputation for their less than friendly vibes. So, if you're wondering where the rudest people reside, this list, based on multiple recent polls and surveys, will take you through the top 10 rudest countries that are far from hospitable, at least by tourist standards. Let's dive in. Number 10. Turkey. Turkey, with its beautiful mosques, bustling bazaars, and rich history, is a dream destination for many. But according to a recent Skyscanner poll, about 2.15% of respondents ranked Turkey as one of the rudest countries to visit. This doesn't mean the people are unkind. Instead, it's more about their cultural quirks. In Turkey, smiling at strangers is not a common practice and is considered impolite. If you do smile at someone, you might get a raised eyebrow. Also, looking someone directly in the eye can be considered rude. In Turkey, the definition of good manners is a bit different, but once you understand the customs, you'll see the charm in it all. Number 9. Poland. Poland may have a rich cultural heritage, but the people there aren't necessarily known for their warm hospitality, with 2.24% of survey respondents considering it one of the rudest countries. While the locals are generally polite, their manners can come across as cold or abrupt to visitors. For example, saying please or thank you isn't a given unless you've done something truly remarkable. If you're staying in Poland, it's important to understand this cultural difference. The straightforward nature isn't meant to offend, it's just the way they communicate. Number 8. Italy. Italy, known for its iconic landmarks and mouth-watering food, can also leave visitors frustrated with its sometimes brash locals. Italy ranked highly for rudeness due to its vibrant, fast-paced culture. Italians can sometimes be impatient, especially in tourist-heavy cities like Rome, Milan, and Venice. A common occurrence is the classic situation where someone tries to cut in line, and locals who see this as nothing unusual will quickly take advantage of the opportunity. Also, Italians are known for speaking loudly, often to the point where an exciting conversation can sound like yelling. The loudness and impatience are just a part of Italian culture, where things are done quickly and with passion. Just don't be surprised when a friendly shout or quick action is considered entirely normal. Number 7. Spain. Spain is home to vibrant festivals, stunning architecture, and lively nightlife. But don't be surprised if the Spanish culture feels a little louder and less polished than what you're used to. According to the same Skyscanner poll, 3.15% of people labeled Spain as rude, mostly due to how locals handle customer service and public behavior. Spaniards, especially in restaurants, aren't afraid to send food back, which can be seen as an overstep in some cultures. Punctuality, too, is a bit of a gray area in Spain. It's considered rude to arrive on time for a social event. Being half an hour late is not only expected, it's the norm. So if you show up early to a Spanish gathering, you might just be labeled as overly eager. But don't let these little quirks deter you. Once you embrace the laid-back atmosphere, you'll see the true warmth of Spanish hospitality. Number 6. USA. America, often known for its friendliness, doesn't always come off as warm in large cities. The USA, which ranked as one of the rudest countries with 3.39% of votes, has an interesting dynamic when it comes to social interactions. While most Americans are friendly and eager to help, their tendency to be wrapped up in their own busy lives can make them appear dismissive to visitors. The culture of the United States revolves heavily around individualism, and this sometimes translates into a lack of awareness of local customs. Americans, particularly in large cities like New York, can seem detached when it comes to engaging with strangers. However, once you step into smaller, more intimate towns, you'll experience the warmth and hospitality that the country is famous for. Number 5. China. China, with its rapid growth and vast population, has created an environment where personal space is at a premium. With 4.3% of people ranking China as rude, the reason often lies in the overwhelming nature of the population. In busy cities like Beijing or Shanghai, Chinese locals can be pushy and impatient, especially in crowded areas like markets, subways, and public events. This behavior isn't intended to be disrespectful. It's just part of a culture where getting from point A to point B is a race against time. When Chinese travelers venture abroad, they sometimes carry this lack of consideration for others, leaving a trail of frustration for those around them. So if you're ever in China, be ready for the hustle and bustle and try to adapt to the fast-paced lifestyle. Number 4. Germany, with its strict punctuality and orderliness, ranks as one of the rudest countries according to 9.93% of respondents. The German tendency to be blunt and direct can feel cold to those unfamiliar with the culture. Germans don't waste time with small talk or pleasantries. They get straight to the point. While this is a reflection of their desire to maintain efficiency and order, it can be misinterpreted as rudeness. German conversations with strangers are often curt, and if you're standing in the way, don't expect anyone to ask politely for you to move. They will simply push past you. In general, Germans don't have the time or inclination for idle chit-chat, and that's something visitors may need to adjust to if they want to avoid feeling alienated. Number 3. United Kingdom. The UK is often stereotyped as cold and aloof, and this perception is shared by 10.43% of people who consider it one of the rudest countries to visit. The British are often seen as polite, but that politeness can feel distant to many outsiders. In cities like London, people tend to keep to themselves, avoiding unnecessary interaction with strangers. This reserved nature can come off as rude, especially if you're expecting warm and open conversation. But here's the twist. In the UK, the lack of outward friendliness is often a sign of respect. British people generally value personal space and privacy, and their avoidance of small talk is simply a way to maintain those boundaries. So, while the British may appear cold, it's more about their deep-rooted respect for politeness and personal space. Number 2. Russia. Russians can sometimes appear rude, and 16.56% of people believe that Russia deserves its spot as one of the rudest countries. The directness of the Russian people often comes off as blunt and cold. In Russia, there's little room for pleasantries. People tend to say what they mean without any sugarcoating, and small talk is rarely part of the routine. For example, a simple "Are you blind?" might be said in a situation where someone is in the way or causing an obstruction. Although this might seem harsh to outsiders, it's just part of the Russian way of handling situations directly. Russians value honesty and efficiency. So, if you're ever in Russia, it's best to prepare for a straightforward approach, no beating around the bush. Number 1. France. Finally, France, the country that tops the list of the rudest countries, with a staggering 19.2% of respondents calling it the least polite country to visit. The French have a reputation for being standoffish, and this stereotype is widely known. The French simply don't smile at strangers, in the way many cultures expect. To them, smiling is reserved for genuine encounters, and it's not a social nicety to offer a smile to every passerby. In fact, it's considered rude to smile without meaning it. Similarly, the French aren't big on small talk, and it's not uncommon to feel a cold reception when trying to strike up a conversation. So, don't be discouraged if you approach the French with genuine respect and an effort to understand their culture. You'll find a side to them that is far warmer than the stereotype suggests. And that's a wrap on the top 10 rudest countries. If you found this video interesting, don't forget to like, subscribe, and drop a comment below with your thoughts. Safe travels, and see you in the next one.